Player Will.
Welcome back, Visions fans. Ready Player Will here. Today we're talking about Esper SP potions. And for those of you that aren't aware of what they are, you can acquire SP, they call for skill points, skill point potions in the game, and you can add them to your Espers so that you can unlock more of the nodes on their total board. This has been in the game for months. There's actually been some questions why JB and I haven't really done any deep dive analyses on these, and because the very simple answer this whole time has been use them on the Espers you use most. Sure, are there some Espers that get a little more value than your average Esper because, you know, there's a third or fourth branch of nodes that they can unlock that still is very good? Yeah, Shinryu comes to mind, but that's not used in every single build. Voldisk and Death Machine come to mind, Phoenix, but those aren't used in every single build. So it still comes back to, do you use it often? But there's 4 special Espers in the game that are neutral. It's Odin, Dark Odin, Bahamut, and Dark Bahamut. And the way the skill potions work for those Espers are, if you take an element potion, which gives you 10 skill points per potion, and you use an element potion on one of them, you only get 2 points instead of 10 points. It is a massive punishment for using an elemental potion on a neutral type Esper. They're the only ones that can do that. The other Espers can't. But we're in a little bit of a conundrum because those are typically the most popular Espers that you do use in the majority of your builds. Well, this video is a PSA because I mentioned it a couple weeks ago in the shop, and I'll show you here right now. They offer maybe once a month. It's not every single week, which is why I'm doing this video. In the 4th anniversary Part 4 shop, there is a bundle here, and I've already bought it. It's the You Are Esper Training Pack. And what this does is it offers a ticket here that allows you to pick any elemental potion you want, but most importantly, it allows you to pick the black skill potion. What the black skill potion is, it's specifically for non-elemental Espers. You get the full 10 SP points for them, and you can buy up to 3 of this bundle, which means you can get up to 15 tickets. 15 times 10 means you can get 150 SP added to a neutral Esper of your choice. Now you can add up to 200 SP per Esper, so buying 3 of this pack, 3000 Viz, will not unlock all of the SP points potential on one of those neutral Espers. You'd have to wait for the pack to run around to get the last 50 of it. But right now, the only other way to acquire these SP potions is through the Mog Shop in the Arena Exchange and the Free Match Exchange. And I'll just highlight these quickly. The Arena medals, you can once a month buy these bundles, but the thing about these bundles is in the selection, they do not offer black potions at all. They only offer the elemental potions, which is why I think this pack is particularly special. There's no other way to acquire it in the game, at least at this time. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go through all 4 of these dark or neutral Espers, and we're going to evaluate whether or not I think the extra 150 to 200 is worth 3000 Visior. Now, of the 4 of them, I'm actually going to start with good old-fashioned Bahamut, because to me, this is one of the few of the 4 that I do think vastly gets better with the 150 to 200 SP. And so just to highlight how this is going to work, you can get up to a total of 852 SP. That's including if you completely add the 200 extra. They normally start at just 652. So for each one of these 4, I'm going to do a pretty generic board of the average board of each one of these Espers, and then we're going to look at to see what 150 to 200 extra SP gets you to see if it's worth actually spending the 3000 Viz on it. And so for regular old Bahamut, the very bare minimum that most people do for nodes here, you go for the full magic percent nodes. You typically go for the 25 human killer as well. And then as of late, you typically picked either the 15 strike res or the 15 magic res. Obviously, both those types have been very meta as of late, but there's also these magic attack nodes sitting around here at the bottom. And to be fair, you could also go accuracy or crit rate. There's nothing wrong going up this top right as well. But right now we're at 445. Let's assume that we're going to go full offensive here and add in these magic attack nodes. We're basically near our cap of 652. So at this point, you can start asking the question, what would 150 to 200 extra SP get us? And so for the 3K this week, if you could only go 150, so we're going to use up to 800 SP here, what could that get you? You could go for full magic res nodes, full 15%. You could also go for most of the strike nodes. Unfortunately, this fifth strike node or fourth strike node is 70 SP. If you were to use this, you would go past your 800 threshold, but theoretically, if you went up to the total 852, you could unlock the full strike board and maintain all these offensive modifiers. That being said, if you didn't want to do the magic attack, you could go full both of these essentially at just 815. This is why I think this Esper in particular does benefit immensely from getting the full potential 200. I think there's a lot here from resistances to the crit rate and accuracy to the magic attack that nearly any magic damage dealer is going to like to have. I will say the other Espers I don't think have as convincing a case. Now for Dark Bahamut, the average board you see is the attack percent right here, 25% attack. You also can go up to 25 human killer. This is by far the most popular starting spot for this board. At this point, again, kind of we're past the meta, but Magic Res was definitely one of the more popularly picked, so you get 15. Let's not go that way, though, because we're not in a Magic meta at the moment. We'll instead go for the accuracy and crit damage here. We'll just go full offensive-oriented Dark Bahamut here. We're basically at our 652 cap at the moment, so what is an extra 150 to 200 get you? Well, it could get you either those magic res nodes that you want. You could still add in some extra miscellaneous nodes here, or you could go for the full slash attack nodes. But again, this is where it's a little bit subjective that not every unit's a slash type unit that uses Dark Bahamut. Is 15 slash mod really game breaking to your units? Probably not. Is the magic res game breaking to them? Probably not, but then again, maybe. Like this actually, depending on where you're playing in the ranks, you might still see a lot of Black Rose Helena and Vivian, who knows what for magic users. So this one may be less impactful than Dark Bahamut, in my opinion. And to be fair, you could also just go full magic res slash attack and accuracy. The thing here for me is that you're really only getting the benefit of the slash attack, which is not every single offensive unit in the game. It's just for your slashers. So while good, not as universally applicable, in my opinion, as what Bahamut offered for you. Now for Dark Odin, almost the same exact thing as Dark Bahamut, and Odin is very similar too. The average nodes you build out here on your Dark Odin are the human killer. This is typically reserved for your evade units, so you will almost always go for the 22 evade. Could you build this board differently for a non-evade unit? 100%. But we're going to assume this right now just because it's the most popular build for it. Remember, we're looking to go up to the 652. At this point, you typically might go for the extra AP percent here. And then honestly, it ends up coming down to either magic res, which again, maybe important to the meta at the time. You wanted your evasive units to have magic res, or you could go for two different slash attack trees. So again, this is one of those Espers that's a little more unique in its upside to slash type damage. If you wanted to get rid of the magic res nodes here, for instance, let's say you are using this on a slash oriented unit, you would go for the slash attack nodes, and you're basically at your 652 cap at the moment. You could go beyond that. You could add on this extra 15 slash attack, a little bit of magic res. But again, begs the question, is 200 SP potions worth 15 slash attack? The answer is, it depends. It's obviously a little more niche, but most evasive characters tend to be slash-oriented units, so there obviously is some great overlap there potentially. Or just from a pure damage perspective, you could theoretically drop the evasion nodes. You could go for the magic res if you wanted to bulk them up a bit and still retain all this. Bottom line is, it's okay, but I don't think it's a massive improvement from what you already have, unless for a little bit of extra slash modifier. And then Odin, again, is nearly identical in that story. You would almost always go for the human killer here on this Esper, and he is one of those units, you also go for the attack percent. He's one of those Espers that primarily focuses on accuracy and slash attack, and I know accuracy is almost always one of the major ones unlocked here. So at this point, getting closer to our cap of 652 and what you might have at the moment, some people go for the slash attack modifiers, some might go for the slash res, some might go for the missile res. That's obviously not as popular. You could also go for the slash attack here on the left. But the bottom line is that the real upside beyond these nodes for Odin at the moment comes down to slash attack once again. And so if you're going for slash attack here, we're basically at our 652 cap. If you were to add 150 to 200, what else could you get? It could get you an extra 15 slash attack. It could also get you the extra 15 slash resistance. Now, admittedly, 15 slash res isn't all that amazing nowadays with the amount of penetration, but it's better than nothing, I guess. So again, it still just boils down to, are you using this on a slash-oriented character? Because if so, then you can unlock all of the slash res nodes here and get the full 30 instead of 15. But again, is 15 mod worth 3,000 viz. So that's my personal rundown. That's why I believe Bahamut is likely the one that gets the most benefit out of the full nodes, because these are resistances that do come around frequently enough, and the image I'm showing is not inclusive of if you just went pure magic attack, which you certainly could. And so for, 3,000 viz once a month, I personally think it's worth it. I mean, it's not a ton of viz every single month, but to slowly accumulate over time, increasing the potency of these espers, again, most of them being slash oriented, but still, it's far more economical than ever putting the elemental potions into them. That'll take you absolutely ages to get the max SP, and you'd completely waste all of your potions on the opportunity cost of putting them in your elemental espers instead. That I personally think it's a good investment. I personally do it every month. These are by far the espers that get used the most, most prevalently. And so to that end of the logic, I do think it's one that's worth investing in. But that's all I wanted to talk about for now. Just a really quick kind of PSA, highlight this, talk through some of the hypotheticals, and you can see why we never really did a video deep dive on where's the best one to min-max, because the answer quite frequently is, it's only 15 slash attack, it's only 15 crit evade, it's only some minor extra stat maybe, that none of them are truly material enough to really like do a deep dive analysis on, because a lot of the best espers are the ones that are not oftenly most used. Not that they're bad espers, but they're not the ones you use most often. I'm sounding like a broken record at this point, though, but that's all I wanted to say. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll talk to y'all soon.